Hey everyone, Aaron Rift here from NoDQ.com to give you my thoughts on WWE Summerslam 2015 from Brooklyn, New York. A very interesting 4-hour show with lots of quality wrestling and some very questionable booking decisions, which have gotten a lot of people confused and scratching their heads and wondering what the hell is going on in the world of WWE. So let's break down this SummerSlam 4-hour pay-per-view. It started off with Randy Orton versus Sheamus, which I thought was a good opening match. Not as good as their Battleground match, but I thought it was decent enough. You had Sheamus getting on the mic and saying that he doesn't look stupid, everyone else looks stupid, and respect the Hawk. I guess that's his new catchphrase, whatever. I tend to think of Road Warrior Hawk when he says that, but whatever. Anyways, the match was good. Randy Orton hit the RKO and Sheamus rolled to the outside, and then the finish was Sheamus hitting not one but two brogue kicks to defeat Randy Orton, which I figured, since Orton had beaten him at Battleground, made sense here for Sheamus to get his win back. And the crowd was into it, although they did do Sami Zayn's Olay chant during the match. The announcing bothered me a little bit. Michael Cole was asking, is Randy Orton going to tap out, when Sheamus just had this basic submission move? It was a little ridiculous. Next up, we had the tag team title match, the Fatal 4-Way tag team title match. The New Day was awesome. They came out, they were singing their own version of Jay-Z's New York song. I loved it. New Day is just awesome. The match itself was fine. It was, I guess, under the outlaw rule that was established back during the Attitude Era, because back in '98 there was a tag match where anybody could tag in at any time, and you had the Road Dogg and Billy Gunn literally pinning each other. Road Dogg pinned Billy Gunn to retain the title. Actually, the outlaw rule was not allowing that to happen, so the outlaw rule was not in place in this match, because at one point you had the New Day members trying to pin each other. The whole thing is stupid, with two guys from the same team being allowed to be in the match at the same time. I don't even know why they bothered with that. But the match itself was fine. The Lucha Dragons did a lot of cool spots in the match. Kalisto was really impressive. The end was really awesome. They did the big four-person spot where there's a suplex and a power bomb at the same time, and then Kofi stole the pin to win the tag team titles. And Kofi's celebration, that was just tremendous, with him going all crazy. And then Big E's celebration. I love this. I'm so happy the New Day won the tag team titles. And the crowd was into it. The crowd was chanting New Day to the music. Kofi's celebration made the pay-per-view worthwhile just for that. And then you had Rusev versus Dolph Ziggler. This was a fine match. I was not into it all that much. There was nothing technically wrong with it, but I just wasn't really feeling it. And one thing I don't understand is Rusev had the match when he had Ziggler in the Accolade, and for some reason Summer Rae decided to go over and get in the face of Lana, and at this point Lana slaps Summer Rae, and that causes Rusev to break the hold. Why did Summer Rae even bother messing with Lana when Rusev was about to win the match? The whole thing really made no sense. I guess the idea was Lana was getting too close to the apron, but I don't know. It looked like Rusev was comfortably about to win the match, but whatever. Basically, this was just a setup for Night of Champions, a mixed tag team match. This really was all it was. Very undecisive here. And then you had the tag team match with Stardust and Cosmic King Barrett against the Arrow and Neville. I thought the Arrow looked decent in there. For a guy who has no wrestling experience, he held his own, and he was in the match longer than I expected. And he took a beating for a few minutes. So this was perfectly acceptable entertainment. I thought it was better than I was expecting going in. And of course, Arrow and Neville won the match. No surprise there. And hopefully they can finally drop the Stardust gimmick now, but I'm not getting my hopes up about it. And then we had the triple threat match, Ryback versus Big Show and Miz. Nothing much to this match. Basically, the storyline was that Miz was trying to get a pinfall at every opportunity. You know, Big Show would knock out Ryback, and then Miz would try to pin Ryback. And actually, at one point, Miz was trying to pin each guy over and over again. That was kind of funny. The finish was very weird. In the end, it was Big Show punching out the Miz, and Ryback knocks out the Big Show out of the ring and then goes to pin the Miz and wins the match, which was very un-babyface-like. You would think that Ryback, the babyface champion, would win with his own move, not having to take advantage of a situation to retain the title. But, you know, once again, set up for a future pay-per-view. This match at SummerSlam, where these feuds are supposed to be settled at one of the biggest pay-per-views of the year, this was just a setup for a future Ryback versus Big Show match, because now Big Show can say, hey, I did the work and Ryback took the pin. Just weird, considering the fact that Ryback's the babyface and Big Show's the heel, but whatever. And then you had John Cena versus Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins came out in this new white gear, which is very babyface. Like back in the old days, you know, you wear white, you're a babyface. And in this match, technically he was, because the crowd hated Cena, of course. They were doing Cena sucks and all these negative chants. Rollins really busted his ass in this match. He was doing all sorts of innovative offense. I mean, he's the new Tommy Dreamer, I guess you could say. I mean, he was doing things Tommy Dreamer could never do. He was doing all these crazy dives and standing moonsaults and the double foot stomps from the Tree of Woe position. But of course, Cena kept kicking out. And then John Cena had the match won, but the referee got knocked down. And at this point, it was a Vince Russo special. Ref bump. You have the host of SummerSlam, Jon Stewart, coming out with a steel chair. And as soon as he got in the ring and acted like he was going to hit Seth Rollins, I knew we had a swerve coming. And of course, Jon Stewart turns around and hits John Cena with the steel chair. And Rollins hits the pedigree on John Cena on the steel chair when the ref is down. Ref gets back up, counts out Cena, and Seth Rollins retains the WWE title. A lot of people hated this finish on Twitter and Facebook, people complaining about it. You know, of course, the Russo finish, the Russo swerve. I actually liked it because going in, we all figured Sheamus was probably going to get involved, and we were all thinking it was going to be some sort of screwy finish. I mean, I don't think anybody out there really thought that this would be a clean finish in this match. So the fact that Jon Stewart came out and got involved, I liked it because it was something unpredictable. And it's going to get WWE a lot of publicity, the fact that Jon Stewart, a celebrity, got involved in a WWE title match. So in that regard, I think it was a smart finish. I know some people didn't like it because it was a Russo finish and it made Rollins look weak, but I mean, WWE just could have had Cena beat Rollins clean and that would have been the end of it. So, you know, whatever. I was entertained by this. I actually liked the finish, and I don't mind a Russo swerve every once in a while. It's when you do it all the time that it no longer becomes a swerve. I believe the last time they did a big angle like this with a Russo swerve was last year's SummerSlam with the Bella Twins. So, you know, if you do it once a year, I don't see a lot of harm in it. And then you had the Divas match, which had to follow Cena and Rollins, and unfortunately the crowd just wasn't into it that much. They were into Sasha Banks and Charlotte, but not much of anything else. They booed the Bella Twins. To be fair, all the Divas involved, including the Bellas, really tried to make this work. Bellas did dives to the outside and nearly killed themselves, but it just wasn't working. You know, I wasn't into the match much, and neither were the fans. In the end, Paige's team won. No surprise there. And then you had Kevin Owens versus Cesaro, which I actually thought was a little bit of a disappointment. I had really high expectations for this match, but, you know, I think because of the fact that it's not the main event, you know, they probably had to hold back. And it was a good match. It was a very good match, but the crowd was also tired. And I just think it fell a little bit short of being an all-time classic that it could have been. But, you know, it is what it is. It was the semi-main event, and it was very good. I just thought it could have been better. but they were in that spot, and there's only so much you can do sometimes. And you had JBL calling Owens a flying bus. That was lame. And then you had the main event, Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar. Up until the end of the match, this was everything that the WrestleMania 30 match should have been. This was a knockdown, drag-out fight, and these guys were beating the hell out of each other. Undertaker, to his credit, was taking the bumps. I didn't think he would take suplexes, but he did. He took 4 or 5 suplexes in this match, and every time I was cringing. I was thinking to myself, oh my God, he's gonna be destroyed here. So Undertaker went all out. He took the big bumps that people were hoping to see in this match. Undertaker went to Suplex City. Undertaker fought back. He hit the tombstones. He chokeslammed Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar F5'd Undertaker on the announce table. Brock Lesnar was bleeding significantly. He had a huge gash on his head. This match was awesome. The crowd was red hot. Like I said, this is what the WrestleMania 30 match should have been. But then you had the finish, which confused the hell out of everyone. Basically, Lesnar had Undertaker in the Kimura lock, and as the referee started counting the shoulders down for Lesnar, Undertaker was tapping out simultaneously. So the bell rang. The timekeeper thought that Undertaker had tapped out, but the referee, Charles Robinson, said no, it was only a 1 count because he had counted 1 as the Undertaker was tapping out. So there was confusion there, and this is all part of the storyline here. There was confusion, and during the confusion, Undertaker gets up, hits a low blow on Brock Lesnar, puts the Hell's Gate on, and Lesnar flips off Undertaker in the hold and then passes out from the pain, and Undertaker wins the match by technical submission. WWE attempted to do a clever finish here, but everyone was confused about it, and people did not like the fact that it was not decisive. Basically, no decisive finish here. Undertaker tapped out, and basically Lesnar got screwed. I mean, it was what it was. And after the match, Paul Heyman got on the mic and said that Brock Lesnar was the winner. And the crowd actually booed when Heyman said this, I think because they were pissed off about the finish. So yeah, people not happy with the ending here. And it looks like it's leading to a WrestleMania 32 match. Ironically enough, the match too big for WrestleMania was indecisive, and now they're going to settle things most likely at next year's WrestleMania. That's WWE logic for you, I guess. So yeah, if we had the SummerSlam 2015 match with the WrestleMania 30 finish, you would have had a perfect match. That's just my take on it. Maybe we'll get that at WrestleMania 32. We'll get the perfect match with the perfect finish. So who knows? But yeah, I give Undertaker credit up until the finish. I mean, this was awesome. I mean, it was really well beyond my personal expectations. Undertaker really went all out in this match and took a beating and gave a beating as well. So SummerSlam, was it as good as TakeOver? It's hard to compare the two because SummerSlam was 4 hours and TakeOver was a little over 2. I do think 4 hours is too long for WWE pay-per-view. I don't care how epic you want to make it, whether it's WrestleMania or SummerSlam. It's just too long. And the fans were getting burned out. They did get hot for the main event, but I just feel it was too much. And it's really hard for me to compare the two. I think in terms of the pacing and the booking of the show, I think that TakeOver was better. Obviously, SummerSlam had a lot of big moments. So it's really hard to say. I like the fact that TakeOver had clean finishes, and at SummerSlam you had a lot of screwiness going on. But wasn't really a big surprise. I mean, going in, I figured Undertaker and Lesnar would have a screwy finish. I figured Cena and Rollins would have a screwy finish. I mean, it's just the norm in WWE. It's what you come to expect. And NXT's more straightforward wrestling without the wacky finishes. It just bothers me that it's SummerSlam. It's supposed to be one of your biggest shows of the year, and you had so many finishes that are just going to lead to future rematches. I would have rather seen more matches end decisively since it is SummerSlam, one of the big shows of the year. I don't want to see the beginning of stories. I want to see the end of stories at a big pay-per-view like SummerSlam. But can't win them all. So I think I'd give this show maybe a slight thumbs up. But probably a B- would be my grade for SummerSlam. I mean, wasn't a blowaway show, but I wouldn't say it was terrible either. So leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts on SummerSlam, and stay tuned to NoDQ.com for all the latest post-SummerSlam news. And I will see you guys this week for No DQ&A video. Thanks for watching.